Hello and welcome to another episode of Now About That with James and Sarah. I'm James.
And I'm Sarah.
And Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year's, bitches.
This is our first recording of the new year, and I always hate when people tell you Happy New Year after more than January 3rd, because it's like, it's not the new year anymore. It's after January 3rd. Let's move on, people. But I mean, this is our first recording, so I think it's acceptable.
Yeah, I think that they'll allow it.
So we have some exciting news. We have formed an LLC and may potentially start having some ads on our podcast and gaining some revenue.
Woot woot.
I just got the IRS employee identification number.
Nice.
And they're sending the booklet of all of the paperwork for the LLC. It is called Now About That Productions LLC.
I love that for us.
Well, it's fun. It's exciting.
It is fun. I'm excited. If we get a big enough following, we could start selling merch
or something. Yeah. I was thinking more like, I mean, for me personally, I was thinking of like offering services like editing stuff and like on the side as more revenue.
Yeah, we could do that too. But
speaking of, how was your New Year's and your holiday? Because we haven't even talked, I mean, aside from on Facebook Messenger, since the holidays.
Yeah, my holiday was good. I got bamboozled by Nick, which was funny. We had gone to IKEA because we live near an IKEA here. And he told me we were getting a vanity for Horace, his fiance. And normally when we go to IKEA, we wander around for a little bit because we like to look at things. We don't wander too much because IKEA is huge. But we'll wander for a little bit. Except this time he told me, he's just like, I know exactly what we're getting. I know exactly where it is. We're just gonna run in, run out, be done. And I was like, oh, okay, no problem. So we go and we get the thing, and I didn't see it. So I was just like, oh, well, I guess I'm just gonna be as surprised as Horace is. And so I'm like, how are you gonna do this? How are you gonna wrap this? Because it's awkward and it's big. And he's like, oh, it'll be okay. I'll just put it in the garage for right now. And then, when Horace is out, I'll just wrap it then. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. Totally acceptable. Christmas Eve, he texts me and he's like, do you want to come over and spend the night? Because I was going to be over there anyway to watch Bobby, the dog, while they were in Houston. And he's like, that way you can open your Christmas presents. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So I come over and he gives me these big pieces of presents. And I'm like, what is this? And I'm like opening it up and it's a desk. So he didn't actually buy a vanity. He bought pieces for a desk. And that was my Christmas present that I was with him buying, thinking that we were buying a vanity for Horace the entire time.
Well, that's fun. Nice of him to buy you a vanity.
Yeah. So I now have a desk. I just haven't gotten it set up yet.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. What else did you guys do, or what else did you do other than just recently about die?
Oh, yeah. Well, other than recently about dying, we set off fireworks for the new year.
Yeah, I did see that.
Which was fun, and I've never done before, but apparently that's a big thing here in Texas. And I was like, yeah. It's illegal to set off fireworks any other day except for Independence Day in Indiana, so...
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew that it was, well, even in California, it wasn't, like, you couldn't do it even on Independence Day. You had to have, like, you had to get a permit from the city.
Well, that makes sense, because, like, California is a burn risk.
That's why I didn't understand about Indiana, because I didn't think that was a thing in Indiana, because there's not really a burn risk.
Yeah, I don't know, but growing up, that's what they always told us, was that the only day that you were allowed to, like, set off fireworks is, for the 4th of July. But here, they sell fireworks all year round.
But we've also found in this podcast that we were lied to when we were growing up, because we were also told you can't drive with no shoes. it's illegal to drive without shoes. And we found that out, that it's not illegal anywhere. And our parents are liars.
Yeah, yeah. Don't lie to your kids, man. What about you?
We didn't do much. I mean, we went back to Indiana to visit family, so that was fun. It was so we stayed the first night in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, which I have to say the hotel booking portion was a giant mess, and it was 100% my fault because I wasn't paying close enough attention. I booked a hotel for the first night, and then when I looked at it, or when I got the confirmation, the booking was for like the December 27th and 26th, or through the 28th. I was like, well, that's not right. So I called him and I was like, it looks like whenever I booked the hotel, it changed my booking whenever I went from the site that I was on to your actual site to book it. And I didn't notice it until after I had already booked it. And they were like, oh, well, you did the pay in advance, so we can't reimburse you. I was like,
Oh
okay.
no.
I was like, well, can you change my reservation? I was like, I don't really care if I get reimbursed as long as you can change my reservation. And they're like, well, let me look. And then they were like, are you traveling with a pet? I was like, yes, my dog will be with me. And like, well, no, then we can't help you because your reservation, or there isn't a room available that can accommodate pets that night, or that evening. I was like, well, then I do need help because I don't want to pay for this hotel room that I'm not going to use because we're not going to be there. Like, we're going to be in Indiana at that time. And she was like, okay, well, I'll have to call the hotel and see if they'll make an exception. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So she put me on hold, and they sent me over to the hotel, and they ended up making an exception, and they reimbursed me, which I was like, cool, that's fine, that's great, I appreciate it. And then whenever I booked the other hotel, I apparently wasn't paying attention, and we didn't know until we got there that the other hotel wasn't booked and was booked for January,
What the?
not December. Oh no.
And were they able to switch it for you?
Yes.
Well, that's good at least.
Well, I didn't even wait for them to switch it. I was just like, can I just go ahead and get checked in, and I'll call them later and try and switch it. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. We can try it. Let's try it. So I tried it, and I was, damn it. Sorry, I'm in the background trying to do something too, and it's like screwing up. Anyways, so they tried it, and they were like, it doesn't look like we can, but let me see if we can reimburse you. And they ended up reimbursing me too. I was, at that point, I was just like, I don't really care. I'll take the $110 loss. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
I mean, it is because it's money, but really, it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things.
Right. But I mean, at least they were able to reimburse you.
Yeah, it was good. And then we got there. We got to Ryan's mom's house, and I never told my family that I was coming, but we told his family, obviously, because we were staying with them. So we got to Ryan's house, and we stayed the night there, and then the next day, I was like, do I want to wait until Christmas Day? Because we got there on Thursday, Christmas Day was Sunday, and I was like, do I want to wait until Christmas Day to see my father? I decided against it, and I went to visit him on Friday.
Uh-huh.
Was it Friday? No. We got there Wednesday. I went to go visit him Friday. Thursday. I went to go visit him Thursday because it was supposed to snow really bad on Friday. So I went and visited him, and well, I went to his house. He wasn't there, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll call him and see where he's at, and just tell him like, oh, I'm heading to the store, but I just thought I'd call and see how things were going and see where he was. And he was like, oh, we're at Burger King getting ready, and then we're gonna get ready to go. We're eating lunch with Sis, your sister, and we're gonna go to Walmart after that. I was like, okay, well, have a Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you guys later. And I drove really quickly to Walmart and ran into Walmart. My sister was checking out, and she was like, oh, what are you doing here? And then I went and found my dad, who was down an aisle, and I walked up behind him and just stood, and I was like, I agree, because he was saying something, and he looked at me and he started crying.
Aww.
So he was really happy to see me. And then we hung out for a little bit, and I had Bobo with me, and then it was Saturday after the snow had fallen, and it was in the negatives and like single digits the entire time we were there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So after the snow had fallen Friday, I went and hung out with him Saturday, for a little while. And then I went up and saw Kristen and hung out with her and her mom for a little while. And then we had Christmas Sunday and everything was fun.
Nice.
We didn't really do anything for New Year's. Ryan had to work New Year's Eve. So when he came home, we watched some movies. We don't really watch the ball drop or anything like that.
Right. We didn't watch the ball drop either. I don't remember what all we did. Oh no, yeah, I do. We hung out for a little bit with one of Nick's paramours. So I got to meet someone else that he's been interested in seeing for a bit, and that was interesting.
What was that word?
Paramour?
Why do you keep giving me these words, Chris or Sarah?
I don't know. What?
I've never. You just say them so nonchalantly and then just move on. It's like I've never heard that word other than the band Paramore.
Well, this paramour is spelled Paramour, and it's another word for like a lover or
French?
a love interest. Yeah.
Okay.
So but yeah, because we're poly, so well, Horace and Nick are poly and I'm just along for the ride.
You're just there.
I'm just there because I'm not interested in dating anybody else at this time. I have the option. I've had people who are interested, but I'm not, and I'm okay with that. That's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they have the energy to go out and see all these new people and create all these new connections. I'm just like, no.
Oh, I also got another good news. So remember how Ryan's car, he hit a hole and hit a pothole and blew a tire, and we had to get new tires.
Oh yeah.
I just got information from the city of Providence, and they had me sign a release, and then they're going to send me a check once they receive the release.
Nice.
So we're being reimbursed for like $200 and some, which is fine. I mean, it wasn't the whole amount I didn't ask for the whole amount for the new tires.
Right.
Asked for the two that needed to be replaced and then the realignment. And they gave me all of it. So
I love that. That's great. I'm excited because after school starts again, because now I am an in-state student instead of an out-of-state student.
no.
My student loan that I'm going to get back is going to be way more because when I originally took out the loans, it was for out-of-state tuition, and
They didn't adjust it?
They did not adjust it.
Oh.
So
I'm surprised they wouldn't have adjusted your student loans once you changed your tuition amount.
Well, see, the way that they do it is they do it fall to spring, and they divvy it up that way. So the amounts are set at that time, and because I did it in between the fall semester and the spring semester, they didn't change it. So
it's interesting. The way that they do it at my school, it's like every term they they submit funding request and it gets approved, and then it's like after week 2 or 3 it gets received by the school, and then once all of the funding goes to my tuition and stuff, they'll send whatever's left to me.
No, so the way that they do it is you fill out the FAFSA and everything, and you apply for student loans for the year, quote unquote, and then you use it from there. So it gets divvied between the two terms, so which is great for me, because it means I can have some savings again and get myself squared away. But it unfortunately means I also have to wait until like the 23rd for it to come into my bank account.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Turning my sound off on my work computer. I'm also like in the middle of editing a video for work, and I keep joking to them because I told them that I had submitted for an LLC and now I am an owner of a business, and they go, then they asked me to do this editing of this video, and I was like, okay, you'll receive the invoice from Now About That LLC, Now About That Productions LLC in the mail.
Oh my god, I love that. I'm just so excited. Okay, so this, but the viewers don't. I went to the hospital yesterday because I'm sick, in case you can't tell, and I couldn't breathe, and like I was really struggling. So I went to the hospital, and they have to do a COVID and a flu test when they get you back to the back, because they didn't want to give me a breathing treatment in the room. They have to have like special procedures if you have COVID to give you a breathing treatment, so it doesn't get dispersed throughout the hospital. Well, the nurse just violently assaulted my nose. And like, I mean, the good news is that I'm not bleeding anymore, but she like made me have the worst nosebleed. I texted the group chat with Nick and Horace, and I was just like, I thought my nose was menstruating because that's how much blood was coming out of my nose, like after she did that. And like, she was so mean about it. She didn't even apologize. I was just like, bro, first of all, you don't have to be that rough. Like, secondly, ow.
Well, you don't know how bad her day was. Maybe she had a really long day and she was about to fall asleep, and you're like the 1800th person that she's had to nose screw.
So I'm the one who gets the bloody nose?
Yeah. It could also be maybe it wasn't rough. It's just that your nose was already on the verge of having a bloody nose, and it just agitated it just enough to start.
Oh no, she was rough. Like, oof. My poor nose. But anyway, it's fine now. Like, I'm not bleeding anymore, which is good, but like, damn.
We started our classes again. Yesterday was the first day my team met. And
dang.
I don't know, there's this one girl on our team that she's so wishy-washy. Like, she communicates a lot one week, and then the next week it'll be radio silence until like we're down to the wire. It's like, I don't understand how you're doing or why you're doing this. First of all, I don't understand how you're able to get by with it, because we have a lot to do, and we set up the expectation that you're going to be there for our meetings. Every Thursday we have a meeting. They're set up for an hour. They don't last that long. They're usually like maybe 30 minutes. And then we just go through, what are we doing what's due that week? And then assign portions of it to each other. And then from there, we just work on it ourselves. It's all due. We want to turn it all in on Sunday, like have all of our parts completed on Sunday. And then the team leader will review it on Monday, put it all together, make any edits, and then we all review it by the end of the day, and it gets submitted Tuesday. That's been the expectation since day one, and she knew it, she knows it, but she wasn't there. She didn't answer any of the emails. It's like, you're in school, answer emails. You have class, you have things to do.
Right.
Does that work? It's insane. But then like just this morning she messaged and was like, sorry, we were crazy busy, or I don't remember what she said, but it was like some stupid excuse. And I was just like, it's not excusable. You're in school. You should be responding to your people.
Yeah.
She said, sorry for missing last night. I had some set plans. I'm happy to do my sections. I'll see what I can get done tomorrow. It's like, okay, it's not even that you missed yesterday. It's that you missed yesterday. You didn't respond to any of the emails. You didn't accept or decline the meeting request.
Right.
I don't understand what you're doing. Super frustrating. But
it sounds like it is. But also, I'm surprised that you guys started back to school already.
Well, we were just on Christmas break. We had 2 weeks off because it was in the middle of a term.
Oh, okay.
Terms are weird, remember? It's like
That's right.
Every 6 weeks we have a new class.
Yeah.
And then every 12 weeks we have a 1 week break.
Yeah, we don't do it that way, so I don't start back to school until the 17th.
Which is
your birthday.
My birthday. Which we're not doing anything special. You know what I'm doing the day after my birthday? Going and sitting at a car dealership while they work on my car because they didn't fix what I asked them to do while we were gone.
Of course.
Did we talk about that?
I don't think so.
But they didn't fix it. So I called them and set up an appointment, and they were like, well, the earliest we have is the 27th of January. I was like, I need you to get me in earlier because it's your fault. You didn't fix it the last time I was there. And they were like, well, hold on. And they looked, and the earliest they could get me is the 18th. So I'm going on the 18th, and I think when they fixed my engine mount, they didn't connect the air conditioning stuff back up properly, or they screwed it up because it's not coming out anywhere, but it's just like filtering into the cabin. Like, it's not, whenever I put it in the vents, it's not coming out of the vents. Whenever I put it on the floor, it's not coming out on the floor. It's just coming like into the cabin. So I don't know if they didn't connect it back correctly or they damaged it when they did the engine mounts, but they're gonna have to fix it because it's not right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that when I dropped it off.
Exactly.
So how's work going?
It's going okay. I started new hours.
I remember that happening.
I'm very upset that I got sick the very first week that I started new hours, but is what it is. But yeah, I now work 8 hours 3 days a week and 4 hours 2 days a week. So after you factor in like my lunch breaks, because now I have to take lunch breaks, on 3 days, it's like 30-ish hours.
Oh, so you're almost full time.
Yeah, technically I'm full time according to Massage Envy standards,
Do they
but because
consider
we're
you?
past like the sign up time for insurance and everything like that, I don't qualify at this moment.
No. Do they consider you full time after 20 hours?
They consider you full time after 28.
Say something like that. Yeah, that sounds familiar. 28 hours. That's weird though.
It is weird. I'm not used to that. Like, I mean, it's nice, but
I think it's a federal law that it's 28 hours. If you work more than 28 hours, you're considered full time.
I don't know. I don't know how any of that works.
I don't
But yeah,
even-
that's how that's going. So, other than, missing 3 days this week, so my check's gonna suck. But
I mean, that's why I like having a 9 to 5, 4 days or 5 days a week, and then if I can, I can take off whenever I want to and work from home if I want to.
yeah, it'd be nice if I had a way to work from home. I'm still looking for a job that I can work from home, because it would still be easier on me, even though I am doing better for the most part. It's still exhausting having to like go out.
Yeah.
So, it'd be nice if I could find a work from home. But as far as jobs go, this is pretty easy and I'm decent at it, so might as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's work is working now. When we came back, the only reason we came back as early as we did is because he had to go to work.
Right.
I think we got back on the 27th, and he had to go back on the 28th. All right.
Mm.
Yeah, he had to. No, we got back on the 28th. He had to be at work on the 29th. Although we were both pretty sick, so he actually called in on the 29th and didn't work. So we both had a really bad cold where we were coughing like crazy, and that was really it. Like we were coughing, and then we had stuffy noses, congestion.
Yeah. I think that's originally what I had, was just like cold, but I don't know. It turned into a chest cold, and now I'm just like, ugh.
At least you're able to come on. I did ask people, don't get on to me. I asked her if she wanted to rest today and then just do the recording tomorrow. He said no. He was fine.
I felt like, yeah, I felt like I was gonna be fine. I sound a little stuffy.
I don't think you do.
No.
No, you sound.
Okay, well, I mean, I think I sound a little stuffy.
I think we always think we sound stuffy because it's in our head. So it sounds like it amplifies how we
yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right on that. But yeah, no, I feel okay. Like, as long as I'm not moving a whole lot, my breathing's not bad.
In that same vein of sounding differently to other people than you sound to yourself, have you seen those AI videos on TikTok where it's like an oval and you have to center your face in the oval and it changes you into an animated character?
Like, I've come across a couple of them, but
there's this big trend now that it's like people are like, that doesn't look like me. That doesn't look like me. You people are saying it looks like me, but it doesn't look like me to me. And they're basically like, well, it looks like it's showing you what you look like to other people.
Right.
And it's like, I did it a couple times and I was like, that, I mean, it looks like me. It looks like a cartoon version of me and a way younger version of me, but
yeah, I haven't done it. I haven't hopped on that trend. It's just not, I don't know. I feel some kind of way about like all the AI stuff when it comes to art, but
yeah, I've heard that too. Like a lot of artists are talking about, well, you're using the person's face and adapting an already available picture or a piece of art and changing it, and not like the artist isn't getting paid for it.
right. So like I'm just kind of avoided that. But also, like, I guess I am a little bit of a conspiracy theorist in that I feel like a lot of these AI generators, especially the ones like with the oval for you to like center your face, that they're like taking your face metrics and like keeping them somewhere. And I don't know. There's something about it that skeeves me out. Like, why? Why?
Your phone doesn't do facial recognition for the unlock, does it?
Mine doesn't know.
Okay, so I'll say this. So mine does, and most iPhones after I think iPhone 10 have. So anyone that has an iPhone, a newer iPhone than an iPhone 10 and has that set up, something already is doing that. So who cares? I mean, get over it. Then the other thing is the license branch does that already too.
No, I know.
So
I don't like that either.
Why are you worried? It's already happening. Anytime you go to
I know.
Anytime you go to an airport, they do it at the airport too. Like there are facial recognition cameras all throughout the airport. Anywhere you go, there's facial recognition. So
I know, and I don't feel like I need to be giving them more of my facial recognition stuff.
So unless you're completely,
this is why I don't have an iPhone.
Unless you're completely covering up 100% of the time while you're out, facial recognition has already got your face.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean I have to like it.
I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying.
We're like feed into it. No, I won't. I won't get over it. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot.
I mean, there's a lot of those things that it's like, what else was it? There's somebody's like, oh, well, I don't want to do it because they're going to take my information. It's like, they already have the government, especially if there's a government, they already have your information. Get over it. Move on.
I know, but I'm just like, I don't feel like I need to give them any more information than they already have.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand it to a point, but on the other side, it's like, what are they going to do with it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Make another one of me? Cool.
I'm already
take some of my bills.
I was gonna say I know that I already what was I gonna say? I don't remember now. It's not been important.
Well,
it's been important.
Do we want to do a part 2 or do we just want to do a short episode since it's the first one back?
I think we could probably get away with just doing a short episode.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because I also have to make dinner.
There you go.
I don't know that I want to start it right now because Ryan's not going to be able to eat it until he gets home, and he probably won't get off until after 11. So
oof.
I'll just be sitting there for 3 hours. Cold.
I want pizza still. I'm like, I don't know why. I saw like a Pizza Hut commercial or something like that while I was in the hospital and was like, you know what sounds good? Pizza.
Do you want me to order you pizza and have it sent to your house?
You want to do that for me?
Send me your address and what you want.
Bet.
It's not a bet. I'll do it. I've done it before.
No, I know you have. I'm just saying. I'm saying bet as in, okay, I'm totally going to do that. Because I'm not going to turn down pizza, honestly. I love pizza. Yes, this is how our friendship goes.
I think I walked into a wall and now I have a bruise on my elbow.
How did you walk? What?
Well, you know me. Sometimes I'm talking and I'm super caught up in the moment and I don't pay attention and I turn around and there's a wall. Not like I'm walk like into a flat surface, like the edge of a wall.
Like the edge of a wall, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually can't say anything because I'm the same way. But my problem is I'll walk into walls that I know are there. I have problems with spatial awareness. Like I know something's there, but then I'll miss it. So I don't know. I'm weird like that. But I found out recently though that actually has a lot to do with like ADHD.
I think everyone has some form of ADHD in some capacity.
I think I think there's a lot of us that do. The more I like research into it, I'm like, man, there's a lot of us that have autism and a lot of us that have ADHD.
Is it, or is it that it's like the WebMD thing where the more you research it, the more you look into it, the more the symptoms align with what you think you have, but it's really just you have a lot of anxiety that causes those things too?
No, like a lot of the things that I have, for example, hyperlexia, which is where you develop reading a lot earlier. That's not normal. And reading at a really high comprehension level when you're young is also not normal. So but I mean, I also have anxiety, so I'm sure the anxiety does help with a lot of the things, but I'm like
You just want a cheese pizza with light sauce?
Well, I figured if I said that I wanted pineapple on it that you'd tell me I was weird.
I love pineapple.
Okay. Well, I want pineapple too.
Cheese and pineapple?
Yeah, cheese and pineapple.
Do you care where it's from?
No.
Okay. Well, do we want to call it an episode and tell everybody have a good week?
Everybody have a good week.
To those of you that are listening, thank you for listening, and we hope you like the episode. If you would, please give us a like, comment, subscribe, and give us a review. If you liked the podcast, if you didn't like the podcast, piss off, we don't care. If you would like to follow us on Instagram, our handle is @nowaboutThatPod. And if there's something that you would like for us to cover on the podcast, you can send that recommendation to our email address, which is nowaboutThatPod@gmail.com. Otherwise, enjoy your week, because this will come out on a Monday. And Sarah, have a great weekend and enjoy your pizza.
You too. Thank you.
Breadsticks if they have breadsticks.
Huh?
Do you want breadsticks if they have breadsticks?
Yeah, they got them. I
Okay.
love breadsticks.
All right. You guys have a great one. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.